I forced him to proclaim his love for me during a live broadcast.
I forgot how
I
good
heard
it
he was
feels to
engaged to his
make these
co-host.
scrubs
I
repent.
just wanted
Oh
to
yeah,
ruin
I
their
just saved a man's
relationship.
marriage. I suppose that's important too. But mostly, making her repent.
My son was about to blow our savings on Alice merch.
Them Fortnite kids, am I right? Anyway, after I cracked the case, the policeman who needs a haircut desperately decided to strong-arm me. Me! Clearly, we only had one option, to bring him to the jail, and maybe leave him there. Just a suggestion.
What say we go get you tested for drugs now?
He had a reasonable reaction, I will admit, but then he started annoying me.
Wait, are you that monster cat from that place? It's the monster cat!
If you insult my cat one more time, buddy, we're exchanging slaps.
How do we actually find the other jails?
Yes?
As always, my bro has the best solutions. Fucking genius, Ryuji. Proud of ya. Since I'm going to be exploring the land of Japan and taking on shadows, I think I need my very own Batmobile. A vehicle I can use to get around and instill fear in my enemies. This is exciting. I'm going to see my Batmobile. My Batmobile fucking sucks. It's like I'm already a dad of 5. Since I had an extra minute to myself, because the game can't progress without me, I decided to go with my original crew to go get some ramen. This reminds me of the time we all got together after taking down Kamoshida and then threw up. I tried to get a book, but apparently that will make me car sick. Something tells me this hunk of junk isn't going to be breaking any speed limits, so I don't know why that's a concern. I meet a fan? Clearly, I should let her know who I am. That way I have a chance. And with that, we head off on our great adventure, and I make my way to the second area, where we see a statue. And then I meet someone clearly chatting shit.
I could see a couple of you being in college, but not you. You've still got an air of innocence about you.
My guy bangs his teacher, a goth doctor chick, just to name 2. He'll bang anything with a pulse depending on the route you take in the original game. There's nothing innocent about him. After dinner, I run into my new nemesis, a sexual harassment lawsuit waiting to happen. Since I always romance Haru, and only her, whenever I play Persona 5, I'm going to have to kick the shit out of him. Now then, it's time to get some dirt on my nemesis by standing in the middle of these 2 random strangers' conversation as they completely ignore me, despite the fact I'm in the middle of them. Sometimes, I just have to wonder, how do I get away with it? Yusuke proceeds to get me what I need, and then violates my nemesis. Now my real work could begin. My opponent was about to get his ass kicked by a fairy.
Ango Natsume is our monarch.
What was your first clue? The big fucking statue standing there right in front of us. Not exactly a secret, is it? My first battle didn't go well. I ran into a piece of garbage who resisted physical and brought more pieces of garbage with him. My SP was low and my health lower. How could this be my start? I ran into a member of the Fearsome Four, an odd name for chess nerds, but I can ignore it. I thought this would be easy. I was very wrong. I would heal, he'd hit me immediately. I would get him into a position where I would begin to believe, he'd snuff it out. Then the game would kick me while I'm down. Every time I would believe I could do it, and then fuck it. I knew I had only one hope, a showtime, so I tried to keep Joker alive to get the necessary damage. Worked like a charm. Then that dastardly villain didn't let me leave through the checkpoint. Why the nerve of that guy? Doesn't he know I'm completely fucked? I have no health and no SP. I had to traverse the many difficult and harsh lands. Okay, I had to cross a river. I'm assuming Joker is not a very good swimmer, so this was very dangerous. Eventually, I got my hands on the sun orb, which I shall use to open a gate, because apparently that's how this works here. It was then I ran into something truly despicable. This filthy knockoff. How dare she even contaminate the air with her presence around me? This was an insult. I annihilated every single last one of them. Then the fearsome Dobby returned.
Toma! I am Toma of the Fearsome Four!
Chill out, dummy. No need to shout. Well, I beat him once. I shall do it again. Let me tell you, that did not go to plan. To say this was not going well would be an understatement. It didn't help that he seems to be really good at killing me. I don't care what anyone says. That was bullshit. I realized my only hope was to once again build up a showtime. I'm beginning to rely on this a bit too much. But what can you do? And then I would use Pixie for only healing myself. Because Morgana seems to be allergic to doing it. I was so close, and then I died. Eventually, I got it and managed to claim the victory. Another successful mission, if you ignore the first 50 attempts. With my 2 magical balls in hand, I had opened the door, where I ran into a lady. She must have been impressed with my balls. I started the battle strong, with a showtime. I was doing fairly well, until I got distracted by the pale imitation, and the snake lady whacked me from behind. My plan was to build up another showtime and hit her with it again. Too bad I died, which meant I was stuck whacking her by mashing the square button, because I refuse to use any persona that isn't my own. That battle was a lot closer than it should have been. No matter, I got what I needed. A lovely buck, I'm sure. I fell for a trap, but in truth, it was them who was in trouble. Easy victory.
Okay.
This should expand our tactical options.
That won't expand nothing. I ain't using it. I was once again tasked with protecting Futaba. I have never failed this before, and I don't plan on doing it now. Fuck, they killed her. Sojiro is going to kill me. But then, I learned a neat little trick. I could heal her with Pixie, and then she wouldn't die. How have I not figured this out before? Well, that certainly made things easier. This member of the Fearsome Four has some stupid hair, but he sure does know how to kill me quickly. I was barely in the fight. I did get further than I thought, even though I was just spamming square. This time, I did a lot better. I even managed to win without losing a single member, and then stole the ruler's childhood trophy. Sometimes, I wonder if we're the bad guys. I play a game of jumping jacks, and I'm confronted by a pensioner who, like his ruler, is a sexual harassment lawsuit waiting to happen. This boss was supposed to be the hardest of the Fearsome Four, but he was actually the easiest. He was weak to electricity, which meant Pixie was the perfect persona for him. All I had to do was keep zapping him and breaking down those shields. Disadvantage to finally let me get an all-out attack against a member of the Fearsome Four. And once I got the showtime, it was curtains for that old pervert. That was 3 pieces of proof. This goat is going down. That was when I heard some terrible news. Some of Alice's fans were still simping. Truly, humanity is doomed. So I kicked his simping ass in the hopes that he would repent. Fortunately, he gave up his disgusting ways. Unfortunately for me, I am a hypocrite, because I spent over 600 yen so that my cat could simp right after I kicked someone else's ass for doing the same. Morgana is lucky he is a special case, because he is taking the piss. Since my little side shenanigans were done, I decided to go open that gate, where I was attacked, unprovoked, by a bunch of street thugs. I dealt with them quickly. Then I met someone I did not like the look of, but he was weak to holy damage, so I tried to use those swords to hit him every once in a while. It was going well until I died. Then I took over my bro and started mashing square, where I proceeded to die again and then scraped a victory with Makoto. Not my best moment, I won't lie, but now I had made it to the castle and was smashing everyone. No one could escape me. Even this boss was falling to my superior skills. Clearly, I was getting powerful once again, until the fucking Diet Coke Pixie got me with a wind attack. I was so furious, I actually just started smashing square and not even trying to dodge. Yet somehow, even though I was trying to die, I didn't. This was incredibly confusing. I wasn't even trying to win, and yet I did. Lesson of the day: Don't try, and you shall succeed. My bro was once again offered as a sacrificial lamb. This was outrageous. They should let me do it. My bro shouldn't put his life on the line. Anyway, we decided rather than listening to his trauma, we should talk over it. It's a good thing this game is very forgiving, and waited until we finally shut up to explain his trauma. I decided to go have a look at my rival's backstory. It turns out these execs were just using him for money because his granddad wrote a poem or something like 50 years ago. My guy made some serious dosh, and he's complaining because they took advantage of his good nature. The crab once again appeared and was doing a little boogie. It was at this point I ran into a problem. I can't kill this thing on my own, and the AI won't use their attacks unless I do it. So essentially, they'll only just heal me every once in a while. So even though he's weak to ice, I could only get so far. I did alright using only Pixie and Joker, but it wasn't enough to make me think this was worth trying. So I had two options. Either reduce the difficulty again or use the others. I suppose if you really want to think about it, maybe you could grind, but fuck that. Why would I do that? It would take ages. Decided to use the others, because if I put the difficulty back down to easy again, I may as well just do the whole thing in easy and just sweep through everything. At least this way, I was only doing it when I absolutely needed to. And what do you know? This actually made the fight doable. It was almost like the developers intended for me to use the other character. If the AI would just do this on their own, we would be golden. Unsurprisingly, I beat him first go when I did this. Now, it was time to send a calling card, which caused him to throw a tantrum like a 5-year-old. Once again, I made my way up this massive chain. This is a lot more work than the palace, but at least now I could confront Dracula over here, who turned into Spyro the fucking Dragon. This boss fight is tedious. The damage you do is basically not even worth mentioning. It was clear to me the strategy I would use is attack with the holy daggers and then do a follow-up attack. And the funny thing is, this dogshit strategy was actually working. I mean, I have had some outlandish ideas in my day, so for one to actually work was a surprise, to say the least. I was actually beginning to think I would win. My showtime was almost full. I knew I had this, and then, at the last second, just before I activated it, this stupid lizard killed Joker. I was livid. I nearly broke the controller. I was so angry. Of course, this little setback meant he completely killed me then. He is a lucky man I beat him the second time, because I would have wrote a very strongly worded letter if he had done that shit again. It was then I realised I had lost to a man who was in nothing but his boxers. Well, this is humiliating for everyone involved. I'm going to go crawl in a cave and stay there for a bit while this humiliation dies down.